Lame Truth here, the Codfather himself, bringing you another video. Got some good news if you want to look at it that way. I've seen a few people against this deal. Maybe they're PlayStation fanboys. Maybe they love a console that looks like a 1998 router and needs a screw to stand upright. Yeah, I also need a screw to stand upright when I'm very... But, you know, I'm not a PlayStation 5. That's a sex joke. The point is, Microsoft has purchased Activision Blizzard, which means they get Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, and StarCraft, among other things. This has pretty much gone through except in the UK, and they're doing a workaround for that, so it's like 99%, I think, solidified. And I've seen a few people, again, against this because they don't like Microsoft's, I guess, treatment of Halo and Gears of War and other IPs and whatnot. Here's what I say. I say it cannot get worse from here. I truly do not see how it gets worse, at least from Call of Duty's standpoint. I don't think we could go down any further. Then again, they always manage to exceed my lack of expectations with that. I've been saying this for the past 4 years, and they keep shitting the bed to the point where I'm not even like, am I even a character anymore? This is the Blame Truth channel. I'm starting to blur the lines between the character and the real person here because, man, this game is just, this franchise, I should say, is not it. But it's not just Call of Duty. We can't deny that Overwatch is in the dirt as well. Overwatch 2, they killed it. They killed it. And I have never, in my 15, 16 years of doing this on YouTube, I have never seen such low morale when it comes to Call of Duty. People have always complained every year about something because, you know, it's video games. If you're passionate about it, you're going to complain. This is worse than Modern Warfare 2, the OG, when Infinity Ward basically all got fired and they couldn't do fixes and stuff like that. They couldn't talk to anybody about it. Like, I've been bitching about stuff like that since that happened because at the end of the day, it's owned by Activision. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a garbage company. Activision Blizzard is a garbage company, and it can get worse. I don't think it can get worse. But let me just read some, I guess, tweets and stuff like that from Charlie Intel about the matter. So this tweet from Charlie Intel says, based on the judge's ruling, Microsoft can close the Activision deal next week in the US. 18 months since Microsoft first announced the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. 18 long months. Still the UK CMA block to get through, but it's almost done. Activision's statement: fair and neutral court has reached the correct conclusion about Activision Blizzard's merger with Microsoft. It's a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo at this point. Bobby Kotick says some stuff. I don't give a shit what that weird little ginger gnome fucker says, so we're just gonna bypass that. He is gonna get $400 million or whatever in this deal, so you know, the next time you go to work and you're working for like $20 an hour and you think that's good, just remember that this Epstein Island flying turbo douche makes more money in like a minute than you do in an entire day, so there's that. What will change with Call of Duty is a question Charlie Intel brings up, and the answer is probably nothing besides a Nintendo Switch version and a cloud gaming version. Sony's deal still exists for COD 2023, so it probably won't be on Game Pass for now, so we probably won't see any actual change until Treyarch's Call of Duty, which is fine because there's no saving this current year's Call of Duty. There's just not. I'm going to make an entirely separate video based on this, and just the hatred I've gotten the past 4 years trying to warn people to, like, hey, don't buy these crappy games, and then people buy the crappy games, and then they come back to me 6 months later saying, BT, I should have listened to you. It's like clockwork every year. I will cover that in a future video, though. This is an interesting little factoid here from Charlie Intel, though. It says Activision Blizzard has over 15,000 employees. It was 10,000 when Microsoft first announced the deal in January 2022. How do they hire on like 5,000 people and still manage to shit out something as awful as Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2? I've said it before, I'll say it again. 3,000 devs, 3 years, and Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 is what we got, and it's already going to be a footnote in the history of this franchise. You know, probably in the next 3 months. I mean, the new Sledgehammer title, maybe people will stick with Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2, but I doubt it. I think a lot of people are just going to jump ship either to X Defiant or maybe even to Battlefield 2042 or maybe even just other games not in the FPS genre. I think it's that bad right now. I think this is the lowest Call of Duty has ever been. And look, they could tout their sales numbers and how they're making money hand over fist, but at what cost? If the player count keeps dropping, but the revenue from MTX keeps going up, eventually one of those is going to give. And my money is on the player count dropping to the point where not even the whales can and the pay pigs can keep the franchise afloat. But we're at an all-time low with Call of Duty. I don't see how it gets worse. I don't see how Microsoft acquiring them can bring about something as bad as what we've gotten in the last 2 years especially. But you know what? It remains to be seen, because the scary thing is people's main concern is like, hey, look what Microsoft did to Halo. Look what Microsoft did to Gears. I don't think they really did anything to Halo and Gears necessarily. I think those games just kind of failed to evolve with the times. I think gamers expect something a bit more addicting and a bit more, I don't know, just modernized. I mean, Halo probably should have had a BR. Gears of War probably should have been more casual than it was. It's a bit too e-sporty for the casual player. Like, I don't know, man. I love Gears of War back in the day. I love Halo back in the day. I started actually on Gears of War 1, started on Halo 3, then went to Call of Duty 4. And, you know, I've been a Call of Duty fan ever since, and it kind of won that little trifecta war there, if you want to even compare those 3 games. But regardless, I think that Microsoft, if nothing else, can do some cool crossovers. Master Chief in Call of Duty? Sure. Marcus Phoenix in Call of Duty? Sure. The last Gears of War game I played had, like, Sarah Connor from Terminator and actual Terminator. And Dave Bautista? Dave Bautista. Why not? You know, let's just, look. No matter how bad the games get, if they can do some cool crossovers and not charge people an arm and a leg for this and actually bring about some good gameplay changes going forward, then I don't see how it's a bad thing. I really don't. I think things have to get worse before they get better. Don't see how they could get worse. So I don't want to give you guys false hope, though. So I'll just say prepare for the worst, hope for the best with this deal. See, the sad thing is, it's not just Activision Blizzard that's releasing dog shit. It's not just Activision Blizzard that's releasing broken games. So I think they're the worst offender, but they're not the only ones doing it. And I think this is just a problem, not even just with AAA gaming. I've really sat down and thought about this. I think this is a societal problem. I think people, like, after millennials, that generation, and I'm saying this as a millennial, but I think after millennials, people just turned into giant, like, no-talent pussies. This is a true story. I'm going to end this video with a true story. I went to the local arcade, and I proceeded to just kill this one game where you have to hit this thing with a mallet, but you can't hit it too hard. It's not like a test of strength. Like, you can't hit it too hard, you can't hit it too soft. You got to hit it just right with the mallet. And if you hit it just right with the mallet, you'll get this sweet spot or whatever, and you'll get like 10,000 tickets, right? Well, years of masturbation, I guess, had prepared me for this, because with my right hand and this mallet in my right hand, I proceeded to bonk this thing perfectly, I'd say like 7 or 8 times in a row. And I earned so many tickets, and I cleaned out the prize section at the arcade. You know, I got like a Luigi, a big old Luigi, a big old Donkey Kong. And I remember like going up to the counter, and the guy was stunned. He's like, wow, I've never seen somebody get this many tickets before. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm a gamer, professional gamer here. How you doing? And then I'm like, I'll take the Luigi, and he has to enter it in the PC or whatever. And he can't spell Luigi. And I'm like, L-U-I. I'm spelling it for him, and he still can't get it. He's typing out like L-I-U, L-X-X, L-L-L, all this stuff. He cannot spell Luigi. He can't spell Luigi! This is a true story. I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes waiting on this guy just to spell Luigi, and I'm spelling it for him! Swear to God, this is a true story. Eventually, I'm just like, you know what? Just give me the thing and you can enter it in later. And he did. I'm out of time, though, guys. But that, you know what? Until people like that get replaced in the workforce in the gaming industry, we're in trouble. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace out.
Need some parting advice?